The chairman of Region 5 held a press conference yesterday after the APNU-AFC councillors walked out of the council's statutory meeting. More details in this report. Following the conclusion of the Region 5 RDC statutory meeting held yesterday at the RDC boardroom, Fort Wellington, West Coast, Berbice, the regional chairman, Mr. Victor Ramphel, held a press conference to comment on the walking out of the regional executive officer, Mr. Ovid Morrison, and the APNU-AFC members of the office. The chairman in his remarks said,
"This walkout would have stemmed from an issue that raised at the last RDC meeting by one regional councillor, Mr. Abel Sitaram, whereby he alleged that an excavator was misused by the chairman and vice chairman of the Bath Woodley Park NDC. When he raised that allegation, I said that council needs to launch an investigation into the matter. I want an investigation into the matter, and whoever is culpable should face whatever sanctions are there. However, the regional executive officer stated that he visited and indeed the excavator was misused. So I continue to say that I want an investigation into this matter before we take any action. The regional executive officer indicated that if I should continue deliberating on the same issue, he will leave the meeting. And he said that more than one occasion. I said, if he wants to go, he's free to do so. He then walked out of the meeting along with the APNU-AFC councillors. Because of that, he and himself and the AFC APNU councillors are calling for me to apologize. What I am saying, that the right way of dealing with this matter is to launch an investigation. No one should come to the council and make an allegation and expect that the council takes a decision on that. An investigation has to be launched. They do not find favor in that, and that's why the stage walked out. The RU indicated that his integrity was at stake or are being questioned. But I am saying that at no time had I disrespect the regional executive officer, who is the clerk of this council, nor councillors, nor the officers of the Regional Democratic Council.
This newscast also ventured to the office of the REO to solicit a comment from him. In a cool and collective tone, Mr. Morrison gave these remarks.
I wrote the chairman of the RDC a few days after he had publicly suggested by his action and statement that my credibility cannot be accepted. I wrote him pointing out to him that he need to supply me with a written apology for his action, and that he need to address the RDC with an apology for his action. What was his action? Apart from his disrespect to me as the clerk of the council and as REO, also his attempt to stain the workers that are so supportive and committed to develop this region by calling them APNU-AFC. That is hurting. Linked to that, the chairman should tell people how many times that he disrespected persons, and I intercept to save his embarrassment, like one of my staff, a female, where he insulted publicly And I had to intercept that when Miss Joseph was very firm, because you know Miss Joseph represents women strongly, and she was very firm on it. To avoid him having a public embarrassment, I spoke with Miss Joseph, the young lady who is part of my staff, and tried to get them to accept within that fold a apology from the chairman, which was accepted. That saved him from the public embarrassment. Mr. Wilson, the transport officer, that he publicly went downstairs in public and used some derogatory remarks to him. Here again I intercept, because Mr. Wilson, who's chairman of an NDC, was very upset and was willing to take it to task. Again, I used my influence and the little counseling that they would take from me to ask them to not to follow that path. The chairman seems to misinterpret my calm, cool, and advisory presentation, and the chairman would have to understand that he cannot be throwing tantrum and saying whatever he feel like saying. He would have to pay the consequence for it. And I'm very firm on that position. I give respect, and I expect respect to be given back to me, and if you don't, I demand it.
The regional executive officer is firm in his decision that the regional chairman must issue an apology to him before he resumes his duties as clerk of the house. Sasha Ramson reporting for Channel 8 News.